Hi gang, it's Pat with RAVEK for another install, and today we're going to be doing our Apex front running light kit on this Can-Am Maverick X3. You guys know I love the Apex lights. They're incredibly bright, they're incredibly durable, and as you'll see here real quick, they're incredibly easy to install. So let's get after it. What you'll find inside are two Apex lights, two power harnesses, two extension harnesses, some dielectric grease, some heat shrink tubing, two tube adapters, two straps, a bag of wire ties, some two-sided tape, two flat washers, four 6mm button head cap screws, two 10mm button head cap screws, some promoter wipe, and alcohol wipe. Now, the tools required for this installation include a 10mm 1/4" drive socket, a 13mm 3/8" drive socket, an 18mm 1/2" drive socket, a 13mm wrench, a 1/4" ratchet, a 3/8" ratchet, and a 1/2" ratchet, along with a 6" extension. You'll also want a 3mm Allen wrench, a 4mm Allen wrench, a heat gun or lighter for the shrink wrap, some side cutter pliers to clean everything up when you're done. Now, if you also choose to do the drill install, you'll want an 11/32" drill bit, a 1/4" drill bit, and a drill. All right, first step of our install is we have to remove the passenger seat on this X3. To do that, you're going to want your 13mm socket and driver on a 3/8" drive, as well as a 13mm wrench to remove these front bolts. Pretty straightforward. One on each side of these tubes. We'll loosen these up, pull these out of the way. All right, with the front bolts out of the way, we'll have to remove the rear bolts. That is by flipping up the seat. And here I prefer to get the larger 1/2" drive with the 18mm socket and the extension so you can reach those bolts down through the openings in the seat. All right, with the bolts removed, passenger seat is free and we can pick it up and get it out of the way. You'll notice the seat belt is still attached, but we can pull up some slack here. We should be able to set it down and get it out of our way. Now we've got a lot more room to work. Next step to access the bus bar is we remove this panel here. And that's very simple. It's just popped in. So we're gonna grab it, give it a good pull, set it out of the way. Next step is to install our power harness. In order to do that, you're going to want our 10mm 1/4" drive and ratchet, and of course the harness. We're going to be installing it onto the bus bar. Now, on this Maverick, the bottom terminal on the bus bar is our keyed positive, and then the top one is negative. So we're going to want to attach it to this bottom terminal here and the top one. 10mm socket. Take our red wire, which is our positive for the switched ignition location of the bus bar here. Get that nut started, and then negative on the top. So there's our power harness. Our next step is going to take our extension harness and connect it to our power harness and go up to where we're going to mount our lights. All right, the next step is determine where we're going to mount our Apex lights. Now, the beautiful thing about Apex lights is their versatility. There are three ways you can mount them. You can do a surface mount with two-sided tape, you can do a tube mount, or you can do a drill-in mount. I'm going to show you all three right now. I'm going to show you the three different ways to mount Apex lights to your vehicle. Roll bar mount with a strap, flush mount with adhesive, and flush mount with a screw-in. Now, to mount your Apex lights to a tube or a roll bar, I'm going to show you the steps. And notice we get your Apex lights flat back. Included in the kit is this beveled back. We'll want to attach this to the Apex light. You can orient your wire on either side, depending on where you're mounting it. And this beveled back, it'll only go on one way. It is tapered. And you kind of feel it lock into place. When it's in place, grab your short panhead screws and secure it to the back of the Apex light. Now, when you mount an Apex light to a round tube, we recommend using a combination of the strap and the two-sided tape. So to attach our two-sided tape, There's a non-branded side and a branded side. The non-branded side will go against your apex light. But before we do that, we want to make sure our surface areas are clean. So you're gonna first grab your alcohol wipe, and we're gonna give our apex light a quick wipe. And you'll also wipe whatever surface area you're gonna be mounting the light to as well. Let that dry a little bit. And grab your primer wipe. You're gonna repeat the process on our apex light and also on the surface area you'll be mounting it to. Now your surface areas are ready for maximum adhesion of this two-sided tape. Again, blank side against the apex light. What I like to do is just start backing a little bit. This will allow me to get it lined up and not have it looking wonky when you're done. So if it's looking good, you can just peel back that backing tape and then give it a good squeeze. Now I'm ready to mount this light to our tube. Now with my backing tape applied to my beveled plate, it's time to mount the apex light to my round tube. I'm gonna mount it up high on this tube right here. And just how I applied the backing tape to the apex light, I'm gonna do the same process to the roll tube. So get it started. I like to always work top down. Peel back a little like this. Now I'm gonna go just below this well, but wherever you're mounting it, get it started, and then grab that backing tape and peel back. That way you can keep it straight all the way back. Add a good squeeze. And with round tube mounting, although this 3M two-sided tape is extremely durable, I mean, you can see that. For added security, we'll take our straps, go through the slot, around the tube, strapped in place. Now my apex light is secured to the roll bar. All that's left to do is plug it in, see if it works. Nice. And we'll check our flash modulator. Beautiful. It's that easy, kids. 500 times brighter than your standard razor light. Now all it's left to do, come back in with some zip ties, route this wire so it's not touching anything hot or anything moving, and we're good to go. All right, here are the steps to screw mount your apex lights to your vehicle. Now we happen to be using a Polaris razor, but the process is the same no matter your vehicle. Once you determine where you're gonna mount the apex light, first step, clean the surface area. So we got our alcoholic swab. You'll notice, looks like we've already had something mounted here. That's because we have. We've been durability testing these apex lights on this razor all season long. And so we're gonna pretend those holes aren't there. Next step, take our primer pad and prime the area. Then we'll go to our two-sided tape. We recommend, again, two forms of fastening this. You're gonna use the tape as well as the screws. Nice thing about the tape, these holes are gonna serve as your pilot holes to drill through the material. Remember, non-branded side will go against our apex lights, so the branded side will go against the vehicle. Make sure it's oriented correctly. If you want your lights, the wide part at the top, wide part of the tape should be at the top, and vice versa. That's how I'm gonna mount this one. So our surface area is clean. Again, I like to start at the top. And if you want, you can place your tape on your vehicle and make a few marks so it is square or lined up exactly where you want it. There we go. Make it easier so it's nice and square. Now, this will serve as your template to drill your holes. Our holes are already there, so we'll pretend I drilled them. Next, take your apex light. Your 11/32 inch or the larger hole will be where you route your wire. The smaller hole, the 1/4 inch, will be where you secure it with the fastener. So the tolerances are just right. Push our wire through. There we go. Once that's looking good, I can peel this tape off. And a little piece there in the way. Get it lined up. Now, what I like to do now is grab my fastener and route that through the back side before I put the light in place. It just helps me see everything that's going on. I like to get my fastener through the hole, and that's going to help guide my apex light onto the two-sided tape. Otherwise, if you put your light down on the tape before your fastener's in place, you may have struggle to get it started. Now, my fastener's started. I'm on the tape. I'm square. Give that a good push. Now I can grab my 4mm from the back side and secure it. Remember to put your fender washer on the back side. Give it a few turns, get it snug. That'll cinch our apex light down to that two-sided tape. And we are ready to plug it in, give it a test. Nice clean install means that's not going anywhere. We'll plug it in. Nice. We have modulator in line. Got the flash. There you have it. Surface mount apex lights with the screw-in method. Now, another way to install apex lights is a flat surface mount using just the two-sided tape, no screws. This is a quick, easy way to do it. If you got a place where routing the wire, you can kind of hide it nice, makes sense. It's a perfect way to do it. All right, to do this, pretty simple. First thing you want to do is you want to take your alcohol wipe, just clean up the light assembly itself, and given that it's probably new, it's pretty clean. And then you're also going to want to take this alcohol wipe and clean whatever surface of the vehicle you're going to be mounting it to. All right. Once that's done, you're going to take your promoter or your primer wipe. This is going to, as it sounds, promote better adhesion. So do the same to your light and the same to your surface area. Once that's done, you're going to thread your two-sided tape through your wire harness here from the apex light. There's 2 holes you can line it up, you'll see on your apex light. 1 hole is for mounting, 1 hole is for the wiring harness. Again, your tape is tapered, it'll only go on there one way, and you'll want to use the non-branded side against the light, as such. So I'll peel back the backing tape, stick this to my light, peel the tape off again, adhere it to the vehicle. And it can be a little tricky with the wire in there. What I like to do is get it started like this, peel back a portion of it, get it square. And then kind of rip it right around that wire coming from the apex light. And get it lined up, give it a good press, and now we are ready to install this light on any flat surface you choose. And I'm going to position it right here. I'm going to run the wire down below the fender lip and connect it to the harness. So before I do, I want to take my alcohol wipe. You clean up the surface a little bit, especially if you got like Armor All or something on there that you've been cleaning your vehicle. Now to apply the apex light surface mount to the vehicle, I'm going to again put it right here. I've cleaned this surface area with my alcohol wipe and my primer. I've got my two-sided tape attached to my apex light. I've peeled back vacuum tape part way so I can handle it on the backside without getting all sticky. Get my light lined up where I want it. It's centered. Once it's all in place, I could peel the rest of the backing tape away. My tape removed. Give it a good push. And now, before I button everything up and get my wires routed cleanly, I think it's time to give it a test first. As AC/DC said on Let There Be Rock, let there be light. 300% more light to be accurate. That is gonna look sick. Well, there you have it, 3 great ways to install the Apex light. I personally chose the drill surface mount on our X3. I think it looks great. It's a very clean installation. Put it right up here on the fender. So with the Apex lights mounted, our next step is to install our front extension harnesses. Just like the rear, these are labeled left or right. These are gonna go from our controller through the firewall up to our Apex lights. And I'll show you where they are routed on the firewall next. All right, here's the location on the firewall where we're gonna want to route our extension wires. There's a boot right here. It's easier actually to start our wires from this side of the firewall, outside of the cab, and push them through. You can use a hook to help guide the wire through, or better yet, if you got a buddy to come over and help you pull these wires through. So I've got front right and front left. I'm over here on the passenger side, so I'm gonna grab the right one, pull that in a little bit more. And once I make this connection to my Apex light, I'm gonna route this wire up under here and get it all cleaned up. Next step is to attach our extension harness to our Apex light. Your waterproof connections, but sometimes you might wanna put a little heat shrink on there, make that connection look even more sano. All right, with that connected, we get inside the cockpit, hook up our power harness. All right, all that's left to do now is to hook up our extension harness to our power harness. Notice I got some extra wires here. Again, once everything's cleaned up and I know what's working, I'll get these all tucked up in there tidy with some wire ties. You'll also notice on our extension harness an extra plug. That's so you can add even more Apex lights. Now, check our website at RAVEK.com for your particular application to see how many more lights you can add. So we're gonna plug this in. Like that. Best part left to do now is test it. Boom. That thing is bright. Looks great, incredibly bright. We'll do the other side next. And then when we're done, we're gonna go for a rip. Apex lights for your Maverick X3. Incredibly bright, incredibly durable, easy to install. Go get yourself some.